Morning, everybody. Michelle here. Wanted to do a quick video, but every time the focus has to be the casting, I kept beating myself up. I forgot to show you guys the grill work done on the board first, the grill work, and now the casting. I helped with the casting. That saves money too. So I told him that he should come to do the casting. I have 150 CDs and I will be his laborer. To be fair, he did most of the work. I've done that before and I've had to bring, prepare the sand, prepare the cement, do the mixing and everything, and then use the pan. I don't remember what pan, mesa pan, I don't remember, but I use a pan to traffic the mortar in, right? Yesterday it was concrete, right? So I said I'll do a quick video on that, show the pictures, but then a number of things has come to me, still in my bedroom, right? So let me see if so this came to me, Franchard Bakery, right? So this is the bakery that we use, right? We use this bakery when we are buying bread. So you have sugar bread, you have butter bread. Those two are consistent for 10 cedis, 15 cedis, 20 cedis, depending on the size. Really, really nice bread, right? So I decided I'd mention it. I did a food video already. I didn't mention bread. We're on the way to Cotacoba today, so maybe I'll probably be doing a video on that trip. But kind of straighten our room. I've passed the stage where I constantly make bed. I know some persons prefer the room don't feel tidy unless my room is a little bit messy. For those persons who didn't see the video with the other, showing the second room, this is the second room. So this is the room that Carissa and I moved into. I think I showed the closet that is messy. This table was in the kitchen, but I took it in here because of the dust in the living room. Everything has dust, the eggs, the milk, the whatever, the food. So I brought this in here. So it's not a permanent fixture, right? And I told you about my messy closet already, but all right, it's outside we're going. So this is the kitchen, right? So the guy did the boarding up, and please note I had to pay him, I think it was 100 cedis to do the boarding up, or did he charge me 150? I think it was 150. I was a little bit surprised, but I gave him it. Simon did it. Simon did the tiling in my room, the second room. And then now I did a video with the steel work that his cousin Emmanuel did. So the steel work was done on Wednesday, and then I called Simon and told him to come and do so I used a piece, guys. My sink is round. Someone was telling me that it's unusual for them to see any round one. I figure there are adjustments you will have to make, because based on how I saw them draw the outline, it goes back a little bit more here. So I figure when this is dried, he said 3 days, and then I'd have to pay him to take it off. So the first step was the first mason. He did this part because I'm using concrete. Wood is going to be used eventually to put in like the doors and so on, and the separation, so you have a shelving underneath. But I had to do these base first. What I didn't realize is that the mason or the assistant mason the laborer that first mason used, he made this side higher than this and this. So to compensate, Simon had to put the brackets below the top part so that it's covered to even it up. right? So I had to pay him for that one done in a day, then this part done. So if you take that into consideration, that was 150, then 150 for the boarding up. The steel bender, Emmanuel, also the biker we use most, not lately but usually, he is a steel bender, so he did the steel work on top of the boarding up, right? And that was 250. Well, he quoted 250. I asked him if he could take something off. He took off 50. So that was just, and it's just the work, right? To me, it should have been a day, but sometimes it's not worth quibbling about. So it didn't take him 3 hours. So, but anyway, so he did the steel work, and then the mason Simon came yesterday, put this section in, and he and I actually mix it right here in the kitchen, the concrete, and just shovel it on here, right? So then it's 150, then 200, so that's 500 cedis, and he's saying it's 100 to remove this. So 600 cedis just for the counter area, right? So I'm not assuming that everybody's going to be using concrete. I'm just talking to those persons who want to think about options, right? It is an option. The concrete to me is is longer lasting. Of course, I'm going to be tiling the top and the sides and so on, and then tiling partial. I don't think up the wall. So I'm going to be going, you're going to have your tiles here, right? And over here with a backsplash. So the backsplash may be tiled different size tile, maybe same color, I'm not sure yet. You guys will see it if you're sticking with the YouTube channel, this YouTube channel. But yeah. So we have been using board and tables. My daughter made one of the first tables that we have been using in the kitchen to, keep our stuff. And this is the makeshift side. A little crowdy, but it works for us. This is just, blocks and wooding underneath there. And I realized that so much dust going on my electrical appliances. So I use something to cover them. But this is the setup across. This setup was over here with the table I showed you in the bedroom in that corner. So now we have removed that table and just working with this, the immediate stuff we need when we're cooking here, right? So this now, some persons will think of comforts and aesthetics, not me. I am getting there in terms of and getting it up into not just the tile in the floor, fixing the walls, the ceiling, everything. But I can continue with this for ages. Just taking my time going, because one of the things I'm saying we have been discussing recently, that's my daughters and myself, is that we promised ourselves to come here and not be tied to working money fixing stuff, like working, paying bills, all about paying bills. We need to get to know here as well, even more than put more effort into it than even what we did when we were in Jamaica, when we lived in Jamaica. Because we get up every day, go to work from 9 to 5, and all of that money goes into bills, So every cent I've gotten, every 100, even if it's 150 cedis, I'm normally buying something. I'm buying cement, I'm buying tiles, I'm paying for a day work, things like that. And we just decided recently that with the 2 rooms up and running, basically we are fairly comfortable there. Once you get the sink up and running, we shouldn't be, you know, tying ourselves to just spending money on building the place. So that's a promise we have made to ourselves recently that will change. We'll stop. I'm outside now. Let me see if I can do the landscape. I didn't mind. And maybe I should have done landscape for you to see that. But guys, forgive me. I keep forgetting that. Try to, but I keep forgetting it. Yeah. So we are good with the place as it is. Trafficking water from, and it's not far. So this is the tank, right? I'm helping Davia wash, and that's the back door. So we just collect the water in the buckets from here and carry it in, and it's the same thing we're going to do with the kitchen. What's the solution to that? The solution to that is building a storeroom at the back and putting that tank on top of it. So, and then paying the plumber to connect the pipe that runs from that stand that we make, or storeroom combination stand, and it runs in the kitchen. Someone said if I build a stand above the window level, I don't need to buy a pump immediately because it will automatically flow down, right? But based on the water, because I did a water video recently, I may have to contemplate that whole purifying water. Maybe not immediately, but that definitely has to come eventually. Yeah, if it's even just to reduce the constant buying in those plastic, because I do know about the sun on the plastic and the dangers, you know. And then there is still the wariness where it concerns water, whether it's the bag water or the bottled water, or I know that it's not the same water. It doesn't taste the same, it doesn't look the same, but there's always a question at the back of my mind. All right, so this video, I think I'll be doing another video, maybe a short one. And as I said, we're heading to Cotocabra. My older daughter needs some stuff, so we're gonna get it, and we're making it a trip. And using the taxi driver that we've recently found, who charges us reasonable. You know, if we're gonna pay for 4 persons to travel public transportation, if you can find a reasonable taxi person who will take basically what it will cover for all of us here, go and come, and just pay my money to take us there and take us back, it works out. All right, so I'll see you in another video. Remember, it's an option. My building is a little at a time, so it's a 500 cedis here. So at this point, you know, before it was more when I just came and I had all of those, you know, refunds and stuff. But now that I'm living like a semi-retiree, or is it retiree? I don't know. I'm not at the age yet for retiring, but I'm not working. My daughter is the person who is working, and her business is really taking off, you know, really taking off. Her clientele is growing and all of that. And the younger one joined her recently, so they are taking care of me, you know, where it counts, where needed. So every time I get something for myself in terms of financial, I try to put that towards the house and let that be my contribution to the, you know, us being here. Not that, please don't take it to me that my older daughter doesn't help. She does her part and pay for certain things, but her earnings is focused on feeding us and taking care of her daughter, you know. But I'm blessed. Thank you for listening. I'll see you again in another video.